Today, a video for the Lenormand lovers. I've been getting a couple of comments lately requesting more Lenormand videos, and I thought today I'd go a little bit deeper into my favorite Lenormand and indeed my favorite cartomantic spread, the cross spread. Now, the cross spread is a spread that in the continental European cartomancy tradition, whether we are talking Lenormand, whether we are talking regular playing card reading, whether we're talking Sibylla, the Zigeuner cards, the Gypsy cards, the Biedermeier, any of these card oracles that are popular in Europe, continental Europe and Eastern Europe, we see the cross spread and variations of the cross spread again and again and again and again. And the reason is because it is the shit. It is a kick-ass spread. And it always amazes me that this is not more widely used in the English-speaking world. And I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 of my favorite ways of interpreting the cross spread so that you too can get some more fun and use out of this technique. Now, the cross spread, of course, is also the fundamental building block of the grand tableau, and naturally when you add more cards on either side and so on, you can see it becomes kind of the skeletal frame for reading a bigger spread, right? So the tools that you gain, or the basic understanding that you get from doing the cross spread, then allows you to build it up into a big grand tableau. Now, I'm going to keep it simple today. I'm going to work with a 5-card spread. You can, with a cross spread, add more cards on either side, so you can have as many on each of these axes as you want to get as much detail as you want. But for simplicity, I'm going to stick to 5-card spread to keep it very simple. The card above the querent is the Fate card, what I refer to the Fate card in English. Ernard Rusbeck, the Belgian author who wrote in Dutch the first major treatment on the Lenormand published in any language, refers to this also as Het Lot, which translates as from Dutch into English as Fate. And another translation that she uses is the Karma card. I don't like using that for various reasons. I like sticking with Fate. Makes sense. Fate. This is the Fate. This is the card that influences the querent the most strongly. The card under the querent's card, under the significator card, this is the control card, because she's standing on top of this card. This, whatever is referred to in this card, is something that will be mastered, something that will be got under control. And naturally, to the left is the past, and to the right is the future. But that's the basic framework of that, right? And this is a very handy interpretive device, because not only does it show us what is going on in the vertical axis at the moment here in the present, but it also shows future trends that are very important with the Fate line here. So here we can see a very important relationship starting that's going to figure in the coming time in some way, in a very significant way, and that there might be some conflict, there might be some discussions or quarrels or something like that, some arguments, but these will not be a major issue. The client will be able to, or the querent will be able to get that under control. Simple, very, very simple, very elegant, and already there you will have a lot of information to work with. Future, we see things working out fine. There's going to be improvements, maybe a surprise reversal of events after the quarrel. Things turn out better, maybe an offer or invitation of some sort. And even though we're just looking at 5 cards there, we already have a lot of information that's very juicy. Now, another variation that you often see here is to make this the thoughts card, the card representing the thoughts, and this the card representing the present, this the future, and this the past, right? Simple. And the reason that this is the thought card, the card that represents the thoughts, is because it's above the querent's head. It's kind of like a thought bubble, you could say. And the important thing to remember here is that it is referring to the state of mind and the content of the querent's thinking. And that is just in the thinking. It might not be what's objectively going on, and based on, you can discover that in the rest of the spread. So here, for example, we can see, this is a negative card, so the client's thoughts are not positive. She's in a bad way. She's maybe worrying, she's maybe feeling drained. Maybe there are fears of losses in some way. There's some fear of losing something there, right? But in the present, we see stability, we see hope, we see something enduring, and then in fact things improving. There being some offer, some sort of expansion, some sort of improvement and pleasant surprise, the beautifying of her life in some way in the future, right? So this is useful. We could see, while the querent's mindset is negative, they're feeling worried, they're drained, there's maybe some stress there, probably with regards to a path that she took, a decision that she made recently. She's worried maybe that how that's going to work out. But we can assure her that no, everything is going to be fine, that this is probably unfounded worry. Right? These are just thoughts. Now that can be very useful too. Very handy if we're able to tell that to a querent and put their mind at ease. And of course, if it was the other way around, here we see her, in the present, having experienced some sort of loss. There, maybe she's feeling drained. Maybe she's feeling sick. Maybe she's, maybe she made a decision, important life decision recently that led to her losing something. But she's hopeful. Her state of mind is very solid and stable and optimistic. She's looking towards the future with a sense of stability and optimism, right? And indeed, things do improve, right? That is very useful information to give to the client, to say your state of mind is right. Your thoughts, the way you are looking at this, is you have the right attitude, even though there are some issues now, that things are going to improve. Now, lastly, this is the final variation that I want to talk about today. And here we are looking at this only as the present. This axis, the vertical axis, is only as describing the present, right? And this is what you might call the present temporary present, that which is temporary. And this is the present that is now going to have a more stronger influence, since this is above her, right? So because this is beneath her, this is the present, and it's not lasting, it's temporary. And here we have the present that is going to be more lasting in some way. And perhaps we see that there is a romance there. Maybe it was with a friend. Maybe there is a new friend in her life, and she feels a romantic connection there. Maybe there is some chemistry. But what we see here, because this is in the temporary position, we know, even though there's this new romance, it's the romance part of this is probably not going to be around. And that's fine. There's a nice surprise there. This might turn out to be a great friendship. This might be a wonderful person to have in your life, and who's going to be, of benefit to you, has something to offer you. You have something to maybe learn from them, or maybe you will just enjoy it, having them in your life, right? But the romance aspect of it, even though you're feeling that chemistry, probably not going to be that permanent. Probably once you get to know each other better, you're going to feel it's more comfortable as a friendship, more as a kind of a platonic connection, right? Very useful information. If it was something of of this sort, right? We could say, oh, well, there is this relationship, this new thing going on here, there's some romantic energy, and maybe there has been some friction, the two of you have not been getting along, but this is temporary. This friction is not going to be an ongoing thing. Things will be improving, and in fact this love will be growing and expanding and become more beautiful. It has more to offer you. So don't worry, whatever conflict you experience in the coming time or that you've experienced in the present, this is only, you know, a passing phase, right? Now, what I would say about these three approaches to the cross spread is that you don't want to mix them up. If you're going to use the fate control thing, then when you set the intention as this as being the fate card and this being the control card, then interpret it in that way. If you're setting the intention that this is showing you the present lasting and present temporary, then read it in that way. Don't mix them all up, because there might be the temptation to resort to a configuration of cards that is more, more makes you feel better or gives you the answer that you want. So to decide beforehand, is this the fate card and this is the control card, or are these the thoughts and this is the present, or is this the present enduring and the present temporary, right? And then having made that decision, then you continue reading the spread in that way. So there you have it. 3 ways to read the Lenormand cross spread. And I hope you enjoyed that. For my Lenormand lovers, let me know your thoughts. If you work with these spreads, post your experiences down below. Remember to like or to subscribe if you got some value here. Until next time.